Greetings, everybody. I'm talking to the phone. How are you all? I just wanted to come in today for a minute and chat about. Today is a Mercury day, and Mercury is at the 3rd degree of Cancer. Let me see how do I turn this up. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? That's not what I want to do. I want to. Okay. Well, we'll see. Shoot. Okay, so today is a Mercury day, and Mercury's at the 3rd degree of Cancer. And I don't know how you guys have been feeling since the sun went into Cancer at the solstice a few days ago. It has been like I have been surrounded by things going on in my family since the sun moved into Cancer. But what has been really interesting is the opportunity to sort of observe my family patterns. You know, I'm a very grown woman in this family. I've been in this family all of my life. So I have seen everyone, you know what your family members go through. You know what they go through with health stuff. You know what they go through with relationship, love stuff. You know your family. You know them, right? And even if they're secretive or whatever it is, you know who they are, because that's the power of the family. They're the people you can't hide from, because everybody just really knows each other in this way that we don't really talk about. And so, and you know why people are the way, you know why they are the way they are. Like, if you have a sister who has a whole lot of relationship stuff going on, you know why she's having that relationship stuff. You know what I mean? If you have somebody who's obese in your family or too thin, you know why. You know why, because that's what family is. But the thing about it is, it's the stories we tell, and the stories we tell about our family members, and the stories they tell about us, and the stories we tell about ourselves based upon our family experience. And I want y'all to know that it's so time to let it go. It's time to let it go, y'all. It's time to forgive. It's time to let go. It's time to release yourself and others in your family from those old narratives and ways of being. It's time to let go. And that's really all I have to say today, honestly, because Mercury is in Cancer, the sun is in Cancer, and we're writing new codes. We are writing new codes for ourselves. And in order to write new codes, you have to tear down the structure, the foundation of the family system you've come from. You have to tear that system down. You cannot be a new person if you're still holding on to the old narratives from your family system. And, you know, in this country, as Black people in Black bodies who are what we would call descendants of slaves or whatever, you know, we have, like, I know the indoctrination and the conditioning around what it meant to be a Black person in a Black family has been really intense. Like, that's why we have colorism. That's why we, you know, have all of these groups that are breaking us apart. That's why we have all these things that can infiltrate our families, our communities, our economics, because we are not united within ourselves, not with other Black people, just in our own selves. Like, we are fighting against ourselves, and it comes from what you saw in your family system. You know, so if you saw your mother going through a lot of heartbreak, or you saw financial stuff, or you saw health challenges, all that stuff is the programming from your family. And what I'm saying is that all of that has been based upon this country, white supremacy, you know, racism. We have not fully been able to ever really be ourselves. And it's time for us to begin to be ourselves. And in doing so, you got to let go of this. Like, it's almost, we got to act like the last 400 years didn't happen, except that you can't act like it didn't happen. You have to process it. You have to process it. And you start with your family. You start with the ideas, the beliefs, the things that you are holding about your family. because that is the pathway, one of the pathways into freedom. You, yourself, your relationship with yourself, but that's usually based upon our relationship with our family members. Because you're born into that experience. Before you know who you are, you know who your family members are. Before you know yourself, you know your family members. So you are identifying with them anyway to formulate who you are. Like I grew up in a family where there was a lot of depression and like I had an uncle who robbed a bank, and my father was a pimp, and my mother was a prostitute, and all that sort of stuff going on. So for a long time, I was identifying with that stuff. And I remember when I caught myself and I was like, hey, if you're going to go down this path, you're going to have some debts to pay. So you're going to have to find something else. But that's because those are the people I was identifying with. So of course I was going to follow suit with that, because that's all I saw. That's what I knew as my identity. So I had to re-identify myself. That's why they say, does diabetes run through your family? It's because everybody has the same identity. It's not because it's not just the genes, because the genes can be changed. It's the behaviors, it's the belief systems that we pass on. So I grew up in a family that believed that this world is horrible for black people and white people have everything, and that. So I was identified with that. And so now, as I've been doing this work with my natal chart and the moon classes, and I have been able to transform my identity. And your identity is everything. Who you say you are, and it's not who you say you are, it's who you say you are. And your system is creating your reality. So we must let go of the identity that we got from our family structure. You got to let go of it if you're going to really be something else. And the easiest way to do that is through self-love, forgiveness of yourself and others. And what you begin to see is miraculous. Like since I've done my work, what I'm beginning to see in my family is amazing. The healing, when one person starts healing the trauma, everybody catches it, y'all. And so I'm watching, like right now, my uncle who's been in and out of jail my entire life. I have an uncle still, who's a Gemini. And when I was little, my grandmother used to have him walk me to school. He was like 19 and I was 6, right? And he used to walk a whole block ahead of me, which I remember, right? And I took that as rejection. I took that as him abandoning me, him not liking me, which is it's just the way I formulated it as a child. But he was just a jerk. It didn't have nothing to do with me. He didn't want to. Him walking in front of me didn't have to do with him not liking me because it was me. It was because he was in his own shit. But I translated that to make it be about me. And then he spent 30 years in prison, like literally on and off in prison for 30 years from the time he was 30. And now he's home and he's painting my apartment and we're having great conversations and I'm making fresh juice for him. And I just feel so deeply appreciative to have this kind of intimacy with him and to know that it's soothing my soul and that I'm a part of it, that a part of the reason he is where he is now is because I've been praying for my family. I've been holding down for my family to have a breakthrough, for all of us to start to win in different ways. And it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. So I just wanted to come in and say that. Be aware of the stories you're telling about your family members. Do some deep dive so you can understand the whys of it, right? Why is it this way? Why did they do that? What? And then begin to forgive yourself and forgive them and have compassion, because it's going to open it up for everybody, y'all. All right. Peace and blessings. I love y'all. Bye-bye.